Hello there, welcome to Dovers with Chiwekalu. It's great to be here once again. Our mission and commission is to help people who watch us or listen to us better their families, strengthen their families, do better in building family, such that every member of the family is thriving, doing well, and adding value to society. We believe and strongly so that the family is the smallest unit of society, and if you are good in family, society will be a lot better. Okay, and that's what Advice is all about. So today we have another wonderful, opportunity to share with you again. And today's topic is a bit controversial because it's talking about men and cheating. Why men cheat? Okay, what happens to them? What motivates them? Is it even possible to stop? Is it something that is so innate in them that you cannot be taken away from them? Those are the kind of things we're going to be talking about today. And we have an interesting gentleman in the house with us, another friend, old friend, but someone who I know is a marriage counselor and among other things, a professional, an IT professional, a man of great integrity, a husband and a father. And a good friend, Francis Ebuehi. Francis, thank you for coming.
Thank you too.
I call him Francis, because we're really pals, So Francis, I know that these things are of concern to you because I've seen you talk about them, I've seen you write about them. So I just thought it would be a wonderful opportunity for us to talk about this issue. There's a tendency for people to think that men love to cheat, but from the statistics we were sharing just before we started, it looks like maybe it's just a thought. What are your thoughts on men and cheating? Is it really them? Talk to us.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to this your program. You see, it's a commonly held notion that men cheat.
Yes.
But interestingly, I look back into some studies that I did, and I got a report from the Institute of Family Studies.
Yeah.
Looked at data from 2010 to about 2016, and they came up with a graph that interestingly showed that men and women cheat. Okay, let's put it that way. Then, however, I just looked at between ages of 18 to 25. They did a study on married women, married couples, and between age 18 to 25, interestingly, women are more prone to cheat than men. 11% versus 10% for men. However, as you get older,
yes, it gets more interesting.
It gets more interesting, and you find out that, and the gap actually increases as the people get older. And the average is like men. The probability of men cheating is about 20% versus 13% for women, and that's the way it is. So I wouldn't say it is right or wrong, but the thing is that as you grow older, things change.
Yeah.
So men cheat. Why do men cheat? And I would say there are a couple of things.
Tell us. Because I know that would be my next question. What is it that makes it? Because you see, yes, that study was done. I'm not sure it took the African context into perspective, because within the African context, I'm sure that if you did those studies, the numbers will be flipping seriously.
Possibly.
Although in our times, I discovered that a lot of young women are becoming sort of mutated in the sense that the way we respond to things that happen in our environment is a bit different. So the figures might not be so different.
Yeah.
But what is it that makes the man cheat? What is it that makes him do that?
Well, okay, before I even start, okay, the thing is that we also have to be aware of what you call people call it a Pygmalion effect.
Okay.
A Pygmalion effect means that your expectations of somebody will actually come to pass.
Okay.
So if you say, if a woman enters a marriage and says, "Oh, all men are cheats," you might invariably be actually making it happen in your marriage.
Yeah.
You understand? So when you enter marriage, you should actually enter with the right perspective.
Yes.
Because as you say it, you will
That's
get it.
how it is. It's scripture, actually.
Scripture, yeah. Okay, so now, there are different reasons why men would cheat. Coming back to the question. It can be with a man's interpretation of a relationship, or it can be his own person. So there are two reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with the relationship.
Yeah.
The way some men take relationship can be very interesting. I just say, even when I do counseling, I tell people that, you see, it's best you stay away from premarital sex. Because if a woman gives herself to a man before marriage, guess what? Because there is no commitment, nothing binding between both of them, it might as well be having sex with every other woman. Then if he has that notion, why do you think it will change after marriage? Still the same.
Yes.
You understand? Because you gave him a chance.
Yes.
So, and that's the way it takes commitment. You understand? I just see some men are afraid to commit. Because that means that they now have to force themselves to one person, one woman. Why do men cheat? They do not understand relationships. They don't understand that there's commitment in relationship. They don't understand that they have to keep to one woman. Some might even tell you that they were not born to be monogamous.
Wow.
Interestingly, that's, I mean, why should a man just be eating egusi all the time?
When there's okra
and afang soup. Because that's the way he perceives life.
Yes.
You understand? He doesn't understand why he should be held on to
one person.
One person. Okay? Then also there can be that communication breakdown between a man and a woman. Wife. You find, and which when a man gets married, there's a perspective he's expecting from marriage. He expects to marry a woman that will continually be slim, that will continually be tantalizing to him. You understand? Then he gets married. The woman decides to let herself go. Even though he lets himself go, but he lets herself go. She puts on weight. Then, interesting, this same man is working, let's say, in a company that you have
all these other babes.
Then he starts comparing his wife with the people in the office. And he asks his wife, honey, why don't you slim down? Why don't you at least take time? Don't worry, don't leave me alone. That's how you met me. And that's how you understand. And he cannot seem to get across to his wife.
That's another reason why men.
That's another reason. Do you understand? And there are some women who think that they'll put a man on a calendar when it comes to having sex. You can't say that the man must come and meet you and make love to you, let's say, once in 2 weeks. Because which takes us to another point. The way men view sex is totally different from the way women view sex. For men, it's more like a natural thing. You understand? It's like it's impulsive. It's natural for them. A man can just say he wants sex because he sees the way you look and everything. But the woman it takes time for her. It has to happen here first. You understand? And when you have these two kinds of beings meet, one is saying, okay, let's have it now. The other one says, don't worry, please, I'm not ready. I'm not ready, or I have a headache. And you say that once, you say that twice. The man can't seem to understand. And what's next? He has somebody that is in the office that he can talk to, and the person actually worships the ground that he walks. Come on. Next thing.
Very easy.
Very easy. Okay, so there are many reasons why, but one of the key things is that the communication between the man and woman is just not there. It's broken. There's none, because the man cannot sit down, because also men have egos. Cannot sit down and tell his wife, honey, what is the problem? Why can't I talk to you? Why can't I tell you that this is how I feel? You okay? And if that is missing, it's bound to happen.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. The man will go out and cheat. The man will go and find a lady that will make him feel big, feel proud. That doesn't ask him too many questions before come making love to her. Those are kind of things that happen.
Are there cases where, have you met cases where there's really nothing wrong at home? The woman is giving the guy enough sex, their relationship is okay, but the man still does what he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
You also have,
And that is the one that I think is a bit painful, because I mean, sometimes you can go back to see that there's a problem at home, but some of the time, there's actually no problem. Somebody is just feeling like a G, wants to experiment, wants to try out himself or something.
Yes.
So they are
because even there are some men who are, quote unquote, still adolescents.
Yeah.
They're not ready for marriage.
Just true.
They're not ready for. They just feel that they want to test the waters.
Yes.
And you know that forbidden waters.
So they say.
You understand? So they feel like, okay, fine. Well, and there's that thrill from going out and doing something that is bad and not being caught.
Mm-hmm. There's a thrill to it.
There's a thrill to it. So you want to do it and say, okay, fine. Who will catch me?
Okay.
Guess what? I can do it and get away with it. Do you understand? Some people feel like that.
Wow.
Okay? So, for some people, it's just natural. Mm-hmm. They just feel that is the way it is. Mm-hmm. And these same people they still do not understand what marriage holds for them, what marriage is all about.
So that brings me to the fact that we're people of faith, and we look at it from a faith perspective. I mean, if I go out there and I see some guy who's, but I find that even within the faith space, there's quite a bit of this going on.
Yeah.
And that is because we're supposed to be the example and we cannot be the example. So talk to us about men of faith what would be their motivation? I mean, the word of God is clear about what it says. Why would they be so excited about something that is so offensive to God?
Interestingly, I had a situation where this guy was more or less one of these protocol officers. Mm-hmm. He had a normal job. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a car. Mm-hmm. And he got married to a beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. They had 2 children. Well, they had one. So the woman was pregnant with the second one. Then one day I heard, okay, then he now got a job with an oil company.
Wow.
Then, all of a sudden, he had money. He had power. And he had control. Mm-hmm. But also the Bible says that beware of strange women.
Yeah.
So, it was now attractive to these so-called strange women in his office and all around. And he could see the power and the control he had over these women.
Yes.
And before he knew it, he left his wife.
He actually left.
He left. And even when I was called in to talk to the 2 of them, he avoided me. The wife was pregnant.
Wow.
He left. He just said, well, he's not interested in her again. That there's this other lady that he wants to help to build her business. I could see that. And which people, when they say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, people do not understand that with power also comes an opportunity to actually manage that. If you don't manage that,
you just go.
You go. So people do not, some men do not understand that these kind of things happen as they grow in wealth.
Yes.
In power, and in all these things.
Status, yes.
And unfortunately, if with that comes the fact that both parties start to
drift apart.
And a prayerful woman should recognize that and try to halt it.
Mm-hmm. And because it really now boils down to the God factor.
Yes, the God factor. And you see, unfortunately, interestingly, when we find out that we call ourselves Christians, we do not understand. Our idea of marriage is taken from all these films that we watch and these books, instead of actually the Bible.
Yes, the Word of God.
The Word of God. You see, who created marriage? God. He saw it was good. Man and woman. Leave their parents to come together.
Yes.
But interestingly, some people do not understand. So they do not even read. When we do premarital counseling, and you ask, how many of you have read the Bible about marriage? You find out that most of them have not read anything about marriage. They do not understand what marriage is all about. They don't understand the commitment, the sacrifice. Okay? They don't understand what it takes to be called a husband. And the woman does not understand what it takes for her to be called a wife. Let's not forget being a mother or even a father.
Yes.
So if they don't understand it, they don't know what's expected of them.
Yes.
We tell them, share your expectations. What do you expect of your husband? What do you expect of your wife? And you know what we tell them? Okay, then after that, do that independently, then share it. You find out that totally at variance.
It's inevitable that people cheat at the end of the day because you don't even know what it's
about. They don't even know what it is. They cheat. At the flimsiest excuse, they cheat. And they give themselves all reasons. I mean, and when they find out, I see someone was telling me that they say, why are you getting divorced? They have this word they call it how do they call
what's that word now?
I don't know.
Inexplicable.
Irreconcilable differences. And I ask myself.
Someone can call it a demon.
I'm like, two human beings cannot sit down and reconcile something and you call it and you allocate it to irreconcilable differences. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
But because there's an outlet, there's a reason, there's an excuse.
Yes.
The same way someone tells me I must write a prenup. I'm asking, sorry, don't you understand what you are doing?
Yes.
You're already opening a door for that. Writing a prenup means that you just know that something's going to happen. Do you understand? Yes. But you see, the olden days, there was no time to write. There was prenup, nothing. You just had to make it work.
Yes.
Because people don't even understand.
Yeah.
A man enters a relationship with a woman, and the man believes that, take for instance, having sex is his own priority. The woman believes sex is a duty and does not even want to understand it. So when the man has his own fun, she just feels there, okay, I've done my part as a wife, and moves on. That's the same reason tomorrow when you call her, she will tell her, I have a headache. Because I'm not enjoying it. It's a duty. It's a chore. Do you understand? A man does not even know, okay, fine. Okay, I have gone through this sex, I have achieved orgasm. What does it take for her to reach that point? He doesn't want to understand her. He doesn't want to understand anything, and just believes that, well, that's my own part. She should go and figure it out. It's that kind of things.
And when she doesn't figure out, he goes to look for somebody
else that can make him feel without any stress, no remorse. Your in-laws come in and say, okay, fine, why are you doing this? You now say, well, leave it. Let her sort out with the in-laws. I have no part in it. You see, they do not understand what it is to be married.
Yes.
Invariably, one person will go astray.
Yes, and do something
they shouldn't do.
So we have all kinds of fallouts of this thing called cheating. Okay, tell us some of the experiences that you've had, what the kind of damage it brings to families and all.
It's devastating.
Yes.
You have some that decide to stay in it, while some decide to just go their separate ways.
Yes.
Those are the only two options.
Yes. You either stay or you go.
The only two options. You either stay or you go. Well, I tell people, I tell couples that it is better to stay and fight for your marriage. Women, fight for your marriage.
That's
that's what I say. Some women may say, you're not a woman, you don't understand. But I tell you, long run, please do not just ascribe it only to your children. Please don't. Ascribe it to yourself.
Yes.
What do you stand to gain? What do you stand to lose? Okay? Stand, fight for your marriage.
Yes. Sit
down, talk with your partner, go for counseling, read the Bible together.
Yes.
And if he actually came to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Take time to forgive him.
Yes.
That trust may not come back immediately.
Yes.
Understand that.
Yes.
That forgiveness may not. But give me a chance.
Yes.
And make things right. And try to avoid those things that will make him go back into that.
Yeah.
Okay? Find mutual things to do together.
Yes.
Okay? Do not allow him, and sit down with the man. And the man should understand his own responsibility in making it work also.
Yes.
He should not travel unaccompanied with the opposite sex saying it's for work.
Yes.
He should avoid going to parties alone.
Yes.
He should avoid drinking that will at least let him lose control.
Yes.
He should avoid things, he should avoid even bad companies that will lead him astray.
Yes. That
encourages all these kind of habits. Let him now start developing good habits with his wife.
Yes.
Sit down, let him evaluate the reason, and let the two of them sit down and talk about it, because it's devastating.
Yes.
You have situations where, apart from you not being able to trust any person, any man or anything, because if those kind of women divorce, the next marriage they're going to, they will take that same baggage and say, well, that man's going to cheat. Let me just get what I want to get and move. And that's why even some single parents are like that now. They say, well, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have my heart broken. I will just have a child and move on. Which brings a whole lot of interesting complications and scenarios into relationship between a man and a woman. You can't trust, and even the children suffer.
That's the most tragic one.
The children suffer. And I asked myself, why? Why should the children be brought into something that they actually do not have any hand in?
Yes, and they're made to suffer.
And they're made to suffer for all this. Today, the child is with daddy. Tomorrow the child is with mommy. Tomorrow the child is confused.
Yes.
And of course, you know that the children will also, there's a higher probability they will also follow that line.
Yes, and become irresponsible in their own families.
Simple. So it's best, first of all, don't do it. In the first place, let me be frank with you. It starts from even before you marry.
Yes, tell yourself.
And also, when people want to get married, please, there's some things you should. Some people think, well, these things have no effect. Guess what? They have.
They do.
So that you do not know.
Yes.
Don't engage in premarital sex.
That is key.
That is key. 2, the way that you do a discovery, find out who you are getting married to.
Yes.
If you stay with somebody for at least a year, you should be able to tell
if he can be faithful
or not. Don't rush into any marriage and say, I want to get married into, oh, I'm so in love, forget it. Let
your eyes will clear.
Your eyes. Don't say love is blind.
It's not.
It's not. You have to enter marriage with clear eyes.
Clear idea.
You understand? So these are things that you have to do. Then, also, before you get to sit down and read the Bible.
Read it.
Read it well. What does the Bible say about marriage? What does the Bible say about commitment? What does the Bible even say if you break that covenant? Because the covenant between you, your spouse, and even God.
Yes.
Because what you are saying to telling people is that God has failed.
Yes.
That God's concept of marriage is no longer working in this environment. Yes. That's what you are saying. And you can't say that you enter something that is created by somebody and you don't believe it, and you now still go to church say you are serving him. Doesn't work.
You are double standards.
You have double standards. It doesn't work. Then when you do all these things, it prepares you. Then put the right structures. For me, anybody that comes to see me in my office, there is a picture of my wife and my children to show that, please,
I'm not available.
Do you understand? My ring is always there.
Some men don't wear their bands.
I can't. Anytime I see a man or a woman I know is married, the first thing I say, where's your ring? Do you understand? Because you are calling different things.
Yes, when you leave your ring at home.
On my Facebook page, when is my wife's birthday, or even if it's not my wife's birthday, you see my wife's picture. That's to show women keep off.
Yes.
I'm married to only one person. And when you do that as a man, guess what? Your wife feels safe, secure. I'm in charge.
Yes.
I trust my man.
Yes.
I don't have to ask him, where are you? Where did you go to last night? Or everything. It doesn't have to be. So when you build all those structures there, you'll find that you have a good marriage and there's no tendency to go astray.
Yes.
Okay?
And it's not because you don't have problems, but because you have committed, really.
Yes. And even when in a distance, you will have problems.
Yes.
So please, do not say because you are Christians you will not have problems. Nobody guaranteed you that.
Yes.
A young man called me just about last week. He said that I'm going to Canada. My wife cannot speak English. What do I do? I now asked him, is it because of the English that you married the wife?
Did you not know
Did you not know that before you married her? It's your job to behold her. The same way Christ beheld the church to God. Yes. To behold her, build her to what you want her to be. The two of you sit down, understand the vision for your marriage. Trust me, she will follow you.
Yes, and she will speak English.
And she will speak in the English that you want.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, there's no problem.
Yes.
Because some people can just go astray just because of that.
Yes. They're looking for the girl who speaks English.
Yes. And that's why you find that some people, before they get married, they have a woman that fights with them, does everything. The moment they become rich and become quote unquote wealthy, they dump that woman and move on. Because they don't want to invest.
Yes, and you need to invest in your spouse.
You need to invest in your spouse. The woman has invested in you by staying with you, even when you only had Gary in your house. Now stay with her and build her so that you can build a home together.
Yes.
All women want is just safety and security.
True.
Simple.
Really.
So, if you can provide that, there's really nothing.
So, what you're saying is that it's possible to be faithful.
It's possible to be faithful. I've been married for 20 years, over 20 years. It was stressed to even start thinking of another woman. I'm serious. Because the demand from that alone. But see, I don't even have time for that.
Yes.
Because that brings its own level of
challenges and struggles to maintain that.
You don't need.
You don't.
And I don't tell lies because I will forget the lie that I told yesterday. Okay. I went to no. I was with my wife. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Put structures in place and all will be well.
So you've heard it from the counselor himself. I mean, he just took all the questions out of my mind because he just kept going from one to the next. And the truth is that it is, the scriptures actually say that a man who allows a strange woman into his life will become like a piece of bread. Yes. That's what the scriptures say. It's in the book of Proverbs, I think chapter 6. If you, like he said, read scriptures, because at the end of the day, God is the author of marriage, of family. And so if you go back to the author, just like we go back to the manufacturer's manual for anything that we buy, you will find the rules are there. The code of conduct is clear. And it is, God is not going to ask you to do anything you cannot do. So if he says to you, the two become one flesh, and that's the way he expects it to be. He expects that you will draw strength from him to be able to live the life he has called you to live. Remember that it's not just about getting married. It's about two people building lives together. You are helping your wife build a life. Your wife is helping you build your life. So yes, there'll be challenges. There'll be things that are not there, things that are there that need to be taken out. But work with God and with the spouse, and you will get past the need for anything else. So, young men out there, this is for you. And in case you're a woman and you're also, because they've talked about the fact that girls are also, this is also for you. God has a plan. It cannot be fulfilled once you're adulterous. It just cannot. It's the one thing that the enemy uses to distract men. Okay. Adultery, sex outside of marriage and sex before marriage. Men are distracted by it. Men are, and it takes you away totally from the purpose of God for your life. So I just want to thank Francis. Francis, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been another one delivered. Why men cheat. The reasons are not strong enough for you not to walk away. That's the truth. It's just a thrill, just some silly non-committal attitude. So you can do something about it, okay? It's been great being here. I really thank you for watching. I hope that this brings some kind of understanding to you. And the women who have to deal with this, remember that you can fight for your man. You can fight for your marriage, especially when the man is not sorry. He's sorry about what has happened. You can go back to the drawing table and do something, okay? So that's it for today. Remember that on our social media pages, we're active. Just talk to us, talk back to us as we talk to you. On Instagram and on Facebook, we're Dovice with Chinwe Kalu. On Twitter, we're Chinwe Dovice. Just get in touch, talk to us, ask a question, make a comment, and we'll be glad to work with you, okay? Until we come your way again, same time next week, have a good time. God bless you and bye-bye.